What's going on, everybody? Hope all of y'all are doing well. Hope everybody can hear me. So, I haven't done a live show in a while. Figured I'd do one, see how it was going, see what you guys were up to. Kind of give you a little information on the hizzy. Assuming this isn't unlisted. Could also be unlisted. It's not. It's public. Fantastic. So, for those who don't know, I'll go ahead and get this out of the way, even though this will not be public after that. Of course, it will be unlisted, so you guys can still get it. I have been recently having a lot of fun with CBS and Paramount. Sorry, I'm just putting this up. And, bro, they're messing with you. That's what. Well, I mean, it's nothing new. It's a lot of people are. I don't know if it's just a common hatred or if it's a lot of new people, but a lot of people are talking about secondary channel and should definitely go off and fight the man and stuff. Honestly, this is just what CBS does. There's literally nothing that they haven't done before. They're a little bit more on me because I've started to use actual footage, and I knew that would happen. Unfortunately, they hit like 10 episodes at the same time, 10 videos. That would have been nicer had they not, especially my most recent one. It would have been nice if they hit my most recent one when I uploaded it, so that it's not like, 2 days into it actually building and they can take it away. But they're going to do what they are going to do, unfortunately. And it's just whatever. So I have countered the video, of course, and I am going to be waiting for that to go through. In about 2 days, everyone should see it. The unfortunate thing about this is that even though it'll go live in 2 days, it'll be completely cut off, all of them. It can be completely cut off from monetization for 30 days. Now that is actually that is actually way incorrect, Vincent. It's their IP, they can do this, it's their right. Unfortunately, no, that's not how US law works. But given the way that YouTube is set up, as well as my lack of millions, it's not something that I can directly address unless they want to push it too far. Let's see, I always name this wrong, even though I quote it quite a bit because I have to deal with them. There is a clause known as the Fair Use Clause under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. This clause allows people to take IP that isn't theirs and in fact use it as long as they change it substantially and change it in a way that it cannot be used in lieu of the original work. Now, just like cursing, it's one of those things, you know it when you see it. There are quote-unquote 4 pillars that you have to follow by, but you never really solidly see what fair use is until it's taken to court and it's adjudicated. However, I know that I'm in the right because every time they do this, I counter it and I say, hey, I have talked to lawyers, and these lawyers have told me that this falls under the Fair Use Clause. Now, if you disagree, you have 30 days to take me to court. Every one of those has been released. Now, CBS is pretty, I will say they are petty, because what they will do is they wait the full 30 days and let it fall off that way versus giving it to me immediately, because they can answer whenever they want. They just choose not to. And I know they look at them because there has been instances where they thought I was wrong and have countered, and that's under the 30 days. Vincent, so unless you have a lawyer, you have to take it. That is the long and the short of it. Even then. But yeah, so anyway. They hit 10 of my videos. I think it was the automated system. I don't think that they did it directly. Just because of the way that it's done. Usually CBS CID is the automated system. There, come hang on. Sorry, I was updating something. Why does YouTube do it this way? YouTube, well, so there's, I forget what it's called. I think it's Safe Harbor is what I think. There's something called the Safe Harbor Act. And under the Safe Harbor Act, YouTube is allowed to, or YouTube allows other people to do uploads. What's up, cat? YouTube allows people to do uploads. And under that act, as long as they respond in good faith, they're not liable for what I do. And so what happens is, in a lot of bigger YouTubers, and I know they know better. I think they do it to try to get sympathy or to get people pissed off. Because a lot of these YouTubers that get upset about it, I know they know better. So as Jim Sterling is horrible about this. But what happens is CBS says, hey, that's our work. And so they send it in to YouTube. YouTube doesn't have the manpower to check every one of those DMCAs. So YouTube says, in good faith, we're going to send it to the other guy. We're going to assume that CBS is right. The other guy, and then it becomes between the other guy and CBS. It becomes between Lore Reloaded and CBS. That's the only way that they are able to stay on so that YouTube does not get hit. And so I kind of understand that, right? Yeah, you know, I wouldn't mind so much that's 10 videos. I mean, this is pretty stout. They've never really gone 10 videos that I can remember. But if they just didn't do the most recent one, that's what hurt. But yeah. So, anyway. That happened. As I said, in 2 days, so Friday or Saturday, those videos will be back up. But none of them will be making a dime, not 1 cent for the next 30 days. And that is unfortunate. But it is what it is. It happens. Then I was contacted via... At first I thought it was a prank, or I thought it was someone messing with me. But they had a number and it came off as official. But I was contacted and advised that the expansive world that I wanted to do for Star Trek was probably not a good idea. For those who don't know, I was actually, I had 4 live action movies set up, short films, but 10 minutes or less. Like 4 animated, and I actually was going to get Full Sail people in on it. They were going to help me out, as well as German Trekkie, and then just a ton of ancillary stuff. So I was never told I couldn't do anything. I was told it was probably best that I didn't, because it seemed a lot like, even though it was drastically different, it was close enough to another major film that got hit that I probably shouldn't do it. But it was made clear that there was no plans currently to do anything. And so I was like, all right, well, I still, I have backers. People want to support this. I'm going to be doing something. And it was suggested that I limit it to one live action and 1 live animation. And so that's probably what I'll be doing. Which sucks, but it'll still be fun. I think we'll still enjoy it. I've already started casting. I got, wow. I thought I threw this shirt away. Already started casting. I also have some animations and stuff. I've already shared on patreon.com/LoreReload. And so I'm looking forward to it. One of these days, YouTubers will finally get together and file a massive class action lawsuit against the biggest corporate DMCA abusers. I don't think that's going to happen. Just found your channel. Sorry to hear about it. It happens. I mean, again, this isn't something new. I get hit with these things every so often. The cease and desist was new. Never had that. But the stuff on the channel and the stuff on the channel is something I have to deal with all the time. Because I have an option. I can give you, so if 1 is the worst video I've ever made and 10 is the best video I've ever made, if I use stills, if I use footage that, if I don't use any footage, just pictures, usually the work, it's my opinion that work is like a 6 or 7. That's the best. If I'm on top of everything, that's the best I can do. But if I use the actual footage, if I use the moving video, I use the moving audio, I use the video, I use the audio, I feel like I can get a 9 or 10 at the best. Usually it's like from a 6 to 8. I hate my work always, but you guys know what I'm saying. And so, yeah, it was a choice to use the footage like I did, and I knew that increased the chances. But I think you guys like it more. I honestly do. So, anyway, that's been what's going on with there. I know there's been some videos out where people have been going off on Discovery and stuff. I actually want to get Generation Tech back on. I am thinking about, you want to talk about pissing people off, I am actually also thinking about doing a video. Where I discuss medicine and stuff like that. And wait for it, because this is going to make you guys mad just hearing it. Discussing if Starfleet is pro-life or pro-choice. Because that's an actual interesting topic when you try to break it down. Because at the end of the day, I think they lean like pro-life, but that's because they've met all of the criteria of pro-choice. Like, they're actually pro-choice, but because they're so advanced, generally people have the children. The abortions are, from what I can tell, kind of rare. It's interesting. I don't know. I always see art. I always see movies and television and stuff as art and reflective of human society. So it's stuff like that that I really just find interesting. I don't know. A lot of people get pissed off about it, though. Anyway, that's been my last week. I don't have school anymore, so I have been able to focus on my kids, focus on other relationships, as well as get you guys out some of the best material you've ever seen. Oh yeah, it'll be. I may actually turn that comment section. I don't think I've ever done it. I may make that approval only. Have to go full lore runner on that one, because people are just going to get stupid. They can't turn away. And no matter, especially since in theory it really is both sides. It's going to make everybody pissed off. What happened to Katwalski? I'm sorry, I just read that. Did something happen to Katwalski? He hasn't posted in a while, but when you say what happened to him, did I miss something? Because I've been talking to him. I'm late, so CBS is throwing DMCAs at your videos. That sucks. Yeah, they threw 10 at my videos. Like 10 hard DMCAs. Usually what they'll do is they'll throw DMCAs where they make all the money off of it. I try to counter those, but sometimes I just can't. There's just so many. But they threw the ones that shut the videos down. So, sorry about this. Are you the only one that got hit? As far as I know, I mean, we don't exactly like correspond when we get hit with copyright. It's something you just have to accept it. If you're going to use CBS footage, that's going to happen. It just is. I see similarities between Starfleet and U.S. Let the rage flow. You know, if you guys want to talk about it, so if you guys would like to have that conversation, we can. If you're interested, I truly believe the more I look into it, Starfleet and the Federation is very rare to have abortions, but only because they're so progressive and they don't have the issues that we have as a society. At least if you do this, they should have done a blanket on YT and others should be, I don't know, man. I mean, it's just, I don't even think it's a person. I think it's the automated system. I'm almost 100% it's the automated system. Almost 100%. They also told me I couldn't do my universe that I wanted to. Everett Johnson helping out the channel. Trek Yards bought CBS Viacom, so you need to take this to the new bosses. Unless it's an attack on your channel by theirs, this means war. Yeah, I heard about that. I don't talk to them anymore because they did that. You know, I don't talk to evil people. And obviously, if you own CBS, you're evil. And so there is that. You know, one of the funny things, when I was first... So, you want to hear something funny? When Trek Yards... The way Trek Yards and I actually met, like, actually started talking... about 2 years ago, the channel was at like 30,000 subscribers or something like that. And April Fools, I said I was going to sue them, I was going to sue Space Dock, and I was going to sue Templin Institute as a part of my April Fools, because they were now using my shtick. They were breaking down, you know, they were breaking down ships, they were breaking down things. And I don't think Trek Yards, the guys there, had seen it yet. And so they thought that this was true. And for a year, I was still dealing with people commenting, talking about how I can't sue them, how it belongs to CBS, how I'm a bad person. For a year, people still believe that. The progressive until the family Bashir, until a family Bashir comes along. I'm confused. The funny thing is, things like your Dominion War video probably drive most viewers to watch DS9. Well, and that's my comeback. You see, that's the funny thing about all of this, and that's one of the things that I point out. I'm like, this, and they really, I mean, they might be able to beat me because of the lawyers, but when you look at the facts, I have evidence that my stuff pushes people to watch the shows, because people will go watch the shows in order to come back and tell me how I'm wrong. They will go out of their way. So I know it pushes people to watch the shows. It's fundamentally different. The original reason they created these videos was to entertain people, to create a science fiction universe. I'm breaking that universe down. I'm fundamentally changing it into an analysis of the universe, and not an entertaining. Even if it's made for entertainment, it's not entertaining in the same way that they're doing it. I actually, in each and every one of these, what I do, I get really meticulous with it. I go and I break down the amount of time each individual episode is, and I show them. So like on the last one, I was like in Caretaker, I used less than 6% of the footage there, and less than 3% of that, and less than 1% of the entirety of the footage. The footage is also, I looked it up, it's like 50 years old, not 50 years, it was really old. It was decades old. So there's no way that even if I was to steal from that marketplace, the market share, it would be so little because they've made the bulk of their money. But I'm not even stealing from it because I can show evidence of where I'm actually making them money. So, yeah, I'm going to be contacting Venom Geek. I don't know if he's watching right now. Me and him are going to do a collaboration sometime soon. I know I'm one of the few, but your audio commentary is good enough for me. I don't need a video to recap. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I know audio is where it is, but honestly, people love it. Pete Oz, CBS sucks. I mean, they created an IP that feeds my kids, so the way they choose to do it, though, sucks. I agree. Now, I'm just going to deal with this. What I'm going to do is they're going to come and say, hey, they're going to come and say, hey, this is ours. Nobody can watch it. I'm going to say, hey, it falls under fair use. If you don't think it does, you can come sue me and get nothing out of it beyond bad press. Because please believe I'm going to be pointing out the fact that I'm a single dad trying to make it in the world, doing fair use, and this big bad company's coming after me. I mean, it is nothing but a loss for them. So they're just going to inconvenience me, cost me 30 days worth of money, ensure that the video that was trending up now never trends up again, and keep it moving. But yeah. So anyway, you guys want to talk about the healthcare thing? Do we want to talk about something else? What? Someone said something happened to Katwalski. Katwalski's been gone, but I don't think anything negative happened to him. I think he was just taking time away. Let me see. Yeah, I think he was just taking time away. I mean, unless I missed something. If I did, I'm gonna have to go look. Just dropped in to donate. Well, thanks, Pete Oz. My channel loves you, buddy. I love how people in chat are on a first name basis with Mr. Roddenberry. Put some respect. I don't know about. I mean, the dude is dead, man. I don't know how. I don't know if we need to give that much respect. Also, when you look into his life, he believed in equality when it comes to race relations, but when it comes to how he treated females, he wasn't the best person. He also liked to take credit for things that weren't his. He wasn't the best. I mean, but no one can stand up to scrutiny, right? I mean, none of us are sinless. Why is CBS after you and not anyone else? Well, Time Lord 862, I would argue that they probably are after other people as well, but it was just my time in line. But you were woke. What did the Joker say about this? But you were woke. What did the Joker say? I don't understand what you're saying, Carlos Cristiano. I'd be curious how I'm woke. Let's have some conversations about that. If you think I'm woke, I'd be curious to see what ideals I have. Beyond that, I honestly don't think the go woke, go broke thing is actually at all right. Disney and Star Wars are making an S-ton of money, more money than myself and every person watching this will make combined. I honestly think Star Trek is like killing it. Regardless of whether I like the shows that are coming out or not, I think that's just truth. Ain't there a story where he wrote lyrics to have his name on it? I don't know. Woke means being cordial to various transgender people. Now, I'm pretty sure that's not what he meant when he said that. Yo, Mr. Roddenberry may have been an S-husband and had many addictions and vices, but I'm still going to address him in a respectful manner. I mean, that's fine, Black Delegation. I don't have a problem with that at all. I was just saying, I don't know that we all have to do that. My understanding is one of the reasons... So, you guys should watch Lore Runner. If you don't, type Lore Runner in there. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. He has some amazing behind-the-scenes stuff. Oh, man. So good. Hold on. Go subscribe to him. One of the interesting things that I heard that had... And apparently there's some evidence behind it. One of the reasons why they didn't cast number one again is because at that time she was having an affair with Roddenberry. Apparently there's some evidence behind that. It's kind of crazy. A lot of people back then were horrible. Man, a lot of people today are horrible. Again, you know, it's... People are just who people are. People are going to people. Again, when you dig too deep into anybody, you're going to find stuff that just isn't above. Trek culture will probably be under attack, besides you among other includes. I mean, I'm not liked a lot because I do lean... You know, it's kind of interesting because the way I come off, and some of my ideals are generally center right, but when it comes to social issues, generally I lean center left, and that a lot of people don't like me. I also can't stand the fandom menace. I think that they have become that of which they hate, and so I don't know. Well, she did marry him. She did marry him. That is in fact. I guess she got divorced after that. I didn't even know she was married until I watched Lore Runner thing. I didn't know she was married to somebody else until I watched the Lore Runner thing. But yeah. the prequels were crap. I assume we're going to do Star Wars, is what you're talking about. I don't know. I'd hit the refresh button, Tony, if you are still talking about Star Wars, because we brought that up a little bit earlier. What did Donovan say that was deep? I may have missed it. That's deep, Donovan. Wesley is Picard's son and had Jack killed. Yeah. See, I think I made a joke about that in a couple episodes. It honestly, interestingly, I don't think that's what the writing is. I don't think that was ever the intent, but it really matches up really well. Especially when you look at the way they interact, Wesley coming on, the fact that he ordered Wesley's husband to his death. It really, really looks like, it really looks like he had Jack Crusher killed, and because that was his son, and ain't no one gonna touch his baby mama. So yeah, I have to disagree about the fandom menace, because if we band together and as consumers we should expect better from those companies, and the menace is putting their feet to the fire. No, the menace is not. The menace is jumping at every little thing that it can so that it can get views. The menace is creating a toxic culture in which anything that comes out, they will instantly go for. They are so either hate-filled or such good liars and in it for the money that they will believe what Reddit and 4chan tells them, pass it off as truth, and when caught, when 5 fucking videos come out showing that they're caught, every one of them, all of your big hitters, all of the big stars, when all of them are caught lying, people to this day will say things like, and I quote, the fandom, we need they are consumers and we should stick with them because they should expect better from the companies, and the menace is putting them to their feet to the fire. People still defend these out and out caught liars to this day. To this day. Chaos on the Bridge from the DS9 Voy doc. Folks, really opened up my eyes when it comes to Mr. Roddenberry. I used to think he was an angel before watching and learning the truth. Voyager documentary hasn't come out yet, has it? That's a ways off, I thought. I mean, here's the thing. Here's what I've always believed. I believe this about Gene Roddenberry, and I believe this about George Lucas. Gene Roddenberry and George Lucas are brilliant. They had wonderful ideas to create universes. Gene Roddenberry created more than one awesome universe. I liked Andromeda. I liked Star Trek. George Lucas, Star Wars, of course. They create just fantastic universes. They're really not good about telling stories and populating them. Some of the most loved stuff you have in Star Trek didn't come from Roddenberry. And in fact, he fought against some of it. Roddenberry could not stand Undiscovered Country. Didn't like it. Wrath of Khan, he didn't like either. When you look at season 1 and season 2 of TNG, the most reviled of the Legacy Trek, that's more all him. It's interesting. And again, I don't even mean that in a negative way necessarily. I can't create a universe like they have. I can't do something that has touched so many people, So I just think that is. No, these are not UFP bed sheets. I'd have UFP bed sheets though. I wouldn't be against it. It was probably the original intent, but I guess they had morphed it to that. Andromeda was... I liked Andromeda. I did... People always ask me that. I feel like I did. I always have to double check to see. I did, in fact, watch Earth Final Conflict. And every time I talk about it, you guys bring it up. And I think if that's the one I'm thinking about, that's the one where there are these new aliens that come. Let me see. Synopsis. When an alien species comes to Earth bearing gifts for you. Yeah, that's the one I've seen. I like that. So that's what I'm saying. Did he write for that, though? Did he just create it, or did he write the stories? By the way, Donovan, I mean, we just disagree on it. That's just my opinion, as you know. When it comes to the fandom menace, I mean, so let me say this. I think you know, but I'll say this for anyone who's watching. Donovan, I mean, if you like fandom menace or you think they're moving good, I mean, that's fine. I don't have an issue. I drastically disagree with you. But I think the original intent of the fandom menace, when it first was created, and the original people in it, those who are big now, who I have no respect for, but originally, I think that it was good. I think that they had a noble cause. I just think that they've morphed into something that everyone hates. That's just me. Earth Final Conflict is just a copy and paste of V. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I still think it's good. I'd agree that it is a copy paste of V. How did that end? So did you guys watch the end of it? Now you got me interested. How did Earth Final Conflict end? Kind of conflict? Have I got a force lance? I don't have a force lance. No, alas. Yeah, I remember. So Curtis Tharp, that is something I remember specifically as an episode where using the transporters or whatever the hell they were actually was sterilizing them. But I mean, how did it end? Did it ever end? That was one of the things I hated about 90s writing. Oh my God. I will literally um, uh, oh man, I'm sorry. I just read something ridiculous, and it's going to take me a second because Joseph, that was, wow. What was I talking about? Because okay. I will not watch series if they end on cliffhangers. Cannot stand it. Now, let's address this. Morphed into something everyone hates. That's just silly. Lore. Channels like Nerdrotic and G&G have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Hold on. How many Germans were a part of the Nazi regime? Let's see if we can find that out. In 1945, there were 8.5 million people a part of the National Socialist German Workers' Party. 8.5 million. So, I mean, how could we say that the Nazis in 1945 were reviled? They had 8.5 million active members. I mean, how could we ever say that something is negative when so many people like them? The hybrid guy flies off in with the last few aliens. The hybrid guy flies off in the last few with the last few. I mean, so did they save him? Can you give me a little more, Steven? I don't understand. Rage bait versus Lord. I mean, I'll lose. Is Sequest a Gene Roddenberry thing too? I like Sequest. Genre created by Bannon. I was gonna say I didn't think that was Gene Roddenberry. Yeah, I like Sequest. Familiar with the term Godwin's Law? I'm not wrong though, Lovich. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong, buddy. I'm not wrong. I'm seriously comparing the Nazi Party to the fandom menace, Josie B. I'm gonna let you decide, Joseph. I'm gonna let you decide. Either I'm seriously confirming that I think that the fandom menaces Nazis, every one of them, including women who have a substantial subscriber base, as well as people of color who have substantial subscriber base. I literally think they're Nazis. Or I was showing you how something, even if a lot of people like it, can still be bad and not liked by others. I was doing one or the other, and I'm going to let you decide. Was I literally calling them Nazis, or was I using an analogy, which is a common way of two people having a discussion, to try to better get one point across? I'm going to let you guys decide that. I dislike Nerdorata for trying to fish for that crowd. At least you don't get that crowd. Love your channel. You know, there was a time when my channel was like that. This is the Bashir drama. I don't know what the Bashir drama is all over again. I used to support a YouTuber that reviewed many shows and would have many positive takes and was enjoyable to watch, but he morphed into a hater of almost everything. Every thumbnail was just saying that was me for a while. I can say that a long time back, years, I was having some issues with the X, and that completely fell through. It was just about when Discovery came out, and I did go off the rail. Dude, I love it. Agreed. I really, really love these live streams. Well, these live streams love you, buddy. So you admit your comment of everyone hates the Phantom Menace was really just a silly generalization. Hyperbole is when you use language to exaggerate what you mean or emphasize a point. It's often used to make something sound much bigger and better than it actually is, to make something sound much more dramatic. Hyperbole is a figure of speech. Sorry, I was just randomly reading that. Earth final conflict ended with both alien races being merged into their prehistoric common ancestor, who were emo goth space vampires. See, Nova, I can't tell if you're messing with me or that actually is what happened. Earth Final Conflict was a production done by Majel No. 1 Nurse Chapel Roddenberry after Gene's death to keep his name relevant. It was based even less on Gene's ideas than Andromeda was. Earth Final Conflict came after Gene died? I didn't know that. I'm so confused. I don't get the Bashir thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand. I don't get it. There are other ways to show that point without making comparison to the most reviled thing in history of the world. Okay, I'm sorry. Guys, I apologize. The Nazi thing was just horrific, and I shouldn't have done that. How many people liked Stalin? Stalin's popularity numbers. A record 70% of Russians approve of Soviet leader Joseph Stalin's role in Russian history, according to a poll published by the independent Levada Center pollster on Tuesday. How many people did Stalin kill? According to official Soviet estimates, more than 14 million people passed through the gulags. Guys, I am so sorry about my analysis and putting the Phantom Menace with the Nazis. I would more put them with Stalin. So 70% of people like Stalin. In 1993, let's see, more than 14 million people passed through the gulags. 5.7 to 7 million passed due to famine. 1.2 people killed in judicial executions. Joseph, I hope you accept my apology, and I hope that you and I can agree that Phantom Menace is more akin to Stalin than the Nazis. Lord, do you hate the deep state clickbait Phantom? Deep state. I don't know. $74 million voted for Trump, case in point. Lovich. See, that kind of stuff is going to get me in trouble. Talking about the Stalin Nazi stuff, no, but We're going to bring Trump into it. It was one of the last productions Majel worked on just before she passed, and was in second or third season when she did pass away, which happened the same time as Rami's fourth season. I didn't know that. That's interesting. But again, I mean, it just goes back. So even, and that even just points out my case. Even if he wasn't involved in Earth Final Conflict or Andromeda, I think it really just more pushes that he creates great universes, but other people really put the stories in it. I bet you didn't know Stormtroopers were based on Nazis. George Lucas was inspired by Triumph of the... Video Bird, we cannot. No. Nothing in Star Wars is associated with Nazis. Are you not listening to what Joseph and the others are saying? Do not say that. There is, I don't even care that the helmets specifically look like German helmets, and they went out of their way to do it, okay? It is not, it is impossible. Inconceivable. Star Wars and Hitler, no. Nothing like the Nazis. Think of Star Wars and Stalin, okay? Star Wars and Stalin. 25th, thanks for helping out the channel. Which Star Trek content creators do you like most? I love Trexpertise most. I just sort of want to avoid Star Wars talk since I'll change topics inevitably to Legends material. Did you not like Legends material? I actually like Legends a lot more than what Disney did. I haven't watched Trexpertise in a while. They had some really good stuff, but they also... they went too far in a couple of ways, I think. And did a few things that I don't like, but I couldn't tell you what at this point. It's really interesting. I do watch channels, but I don't watch it as much as you guys think because I do it for a living, right? I like Lore Runner. Trek Yards is pretty good. Space Dock, Template Institute. Trexpertise, of course, has good stuff as well. When Katwelski was a Star Trek channel, I really liked him. Venom Geek Media is, man, he is substantially under-subscribed. People, you guys should really watch him. German Trekkie is pretty good. Honestly, believe it or not, the ones I'll really watch over the others, I don't necessarily watch the bigger channels as much, with the exception of Lore Runner. I do watch them every so often. I like their content, but I find a lot of the smaller YouTubers more interesting in some ways. And even with my work, it becomes a little bit too corporate, and I think you can get a little less from it. By the way, Joseph, if you're still watching, I know Donovan knows. Hopefully, I overemphasize and I give you guys a hard time. I just disagree. And I like being kind of, we'll say, dramatic. What did Cerstis say? Cerstis, funny, I only read Star Trek books. I could not get into Star Wars books. Inconceivable. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. That's true. Where does the spunk from the holodeck go? In the things. If you've watched Lower Decks, you know it goes in those tubes that people have to pull out. I know you fanboy some Steve Shives. I actually did like Steve Shives for quite a while, and then he went way off the rails. Trexpertise went woke. I think most people would describe them as going woke. That doesn't bother me as much. I forget what it was. It was something. I don't like it when people... It annoys me when people think that you're wrong simply because they disagree with your idea and then they go out of their way to mock you. And I feel like Trexpertise did that. I really do. Do I think that Stewie Griffin had a good time with the TNG? He loved it, I'm sure. Yeah, there's my cat. They're wanting to go to bed. They're wondering why I'm still up. And they're not wrong. They're not wrong, my good friends. Shive makes me want to watch 60 Minutes for the action. Y'all are crazy. If I may, it seems as if the overly positive channels, the ones who seem to be tied in lockstep with a franchise, who rely overly on said shows for views, are at times a bit disingenuous. Here's the thing. So here's the funny thing. Like, people get all bent out of shape about my opinions on the Fandom Menace. I think almost the exact same about We Are Starfleet. Most all of these channels that are so drastically positive, as you put it, or want everything to be, every character has to be bisexual, everything about it has to be some form of LGBT plus, everything about it. And yeah, even trying to defend the poor choices made by the shows, they're just as disingenuous. They don't have the thing is that they generally have their stronghold on Twitter, not on YouTube. YouTube is the We Are Starfleet of Twitter, and Twitter is the Fandom Menace of YouTube. And that's just the way it is. And I have a lot of issues. Now, there is one channel that I will give a caveat to. I really, really think that Jessie Gender is on the level. Now, let's say this. I've done multiple projects with her. She can call me up. We've talked, and we do talk even outside of YouTube. So, there's a friendship there. Take it for what you will. But I think that even though she is along those lines where she'll definitely be, I can generally guess how she's going to feel on a specific episode. I think she's honest. And I do think she admits that there are things that are too much or can go wrong. I think that she's the best woke channel out there. But a lot of the other channels are just as bad as Fandom Menace, just in their own wonderful ways. Video Bird 300. I hope you're messing with me. I hope you're being sarcastic, Video Bird. I was just messing with you back. George Lucas even refers to the Imperial officers in The Empire Strikes Back as Nazis while giving his commentary of the film. He specifically mentions impossible, Deseb99. Impossible. I told you, sir, you cannot refer to anything with Star Wars and the Nazis. Just can't do it. Disco and Picard are poor productions of Star Trek. They have bastardized Trek, turning the once optimistic, exclusive, aspirational world into a poorly written, dark, segregated, dystopian world. I hate it when you guys make me defend, especially Season 1 of Discovery. I would say that DS9, the Dominion War, is pretty dystopian. Voyager has some pretty dystopian aspects in it as well. And I've said this before, and I truly believe this. There's nothing in Discovery. There's nothing in Disco era Trek. Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, nothing in any of those that isn't in Legacy Trek, isn't in what came before. It's just they dialed it up to 11. Yo, just got here, so I'm kind of behind. Wasn't there a Janeway video up? I was going to watch it a second time and maybe send to a friend. It has been taken down due to a DMCA. I've already countered it. It should be up by Saturday. So if you will remember, please send it to your friend on Saturday. Logic says waste biomatter and holodeck gets deconstructed, beamed out, or all that Klingon sweat would clog the system. Yeah, or, reconditioned into other stuff. I honestly don't believe that the food is made out of crap, by the way. I honestly don't. Quasar Production supports fair use. Well, as you should. Most everyone should support fair use, in my opinion. It's the only way things continue to thrive. You know what I mean? Wow, their numbers have went down a bit. I guess they don't. Do that? Oh, they don't upload all that much anymore. Huh. Interesting. Sorry, I was looking at Trek Expertise. Nope. So here's my thought on that, actually, Huntus Farmer. I don't think it was. I think Admiral Vance was saying that to keep her off her guard. I think that it was a a diplomatic tactic. I think it was a debate tactic. I hope I'll remember. And I hope you remember too. I mean, if you don't, that's fine. It's whatever. This stuff happens. I honestly do. I think he was using it as a debate tactic. I think he was trying to keep her off her game. I sincerely don't. I don't know that I believe that. Yeah, it should come again. It should be back up unless they really want to take me to court. I mean, if they really want to take me to the court, then I guess I'm gonna put on my Sunday's best and we'll see what happens. But it should be back up by then. I think in Star Trek, Earth should have always been utopian for the average person, as space is Wild West. That's why the Dominion War mostly works, because the threat is from the frontier. Yeah, but what would you say to Paradise Lost or Homefront? Those happened. That was a Starfleet military coup. Arguably, that admiral killed people at the whatever conference, the Antwerp conference. I don't for a second think that that was changelings. I think he killed them to make all this happen. That's what I think. So and there are other instances. Seth needs to get his butt and release the next season. I think Orville's going to be canceled. Like, they were all about how Orville wasn't going to be canceled and it was still going on. And then all of a sudden they shut up about that and they won't even engage on it. I don't want Orville to be canceled. I really, really think that's what's happening. I hope I'm wrong. Everything breaks down to the molecular or energy level, then gets rebuilt later. I mean, in theory, you're right. Aren't we all technically remnants of other dead people? Like all of our atoms that come back, everything gets reused. It's a somewhat of a closed system. Orville season, yeah, I know Orville season 3 is still in. I'm not disagreeing there. I think that I like you said, I think season 4 is out of it. I never thought of that. Perhaps the changeling, since the bomb go off a second before one. No, I don't even think there was a changeling there. I think it was all modified. There's no other evidence. I know Memory Alpha says it's changeling. I think Memory Alpha is wrong. There's no evidence that shows that it was. I mean, how lucky did the Admiral get off? How lucky was Leighton? All of a sudden, there is this attack that takes out the Romulans, that takes out, what was it, the Breen or the Tholians, takes out Starfleet. And then all of a sudden, he already has people in place to start making the wormhole act weird, like there was a fleet coming through, making it act odd. He all of a sudden has, what was it, Red Squad ready? Are you telling me that this all just happened to fall into his place? Is that what happened? Did the changelings, did the Dominion decide to bomb the hell out of Antwerp conference, and he just happened to have all of this stuff ready to go time? Or is it more likely that Leighton bombed the own conference? He was head of security. He could have had it all made to look like the changelings and had everything in place just as it happened. Which is more likely? What's going on, Alabama? Katrina LaFay in the house. In the his house, as they say. It takes 7 to 10 years. We replace every molecule in the human body. Yep, that's true. That's every I've never heard the to 10 years. And that's something I say all the time. Every 7 years is a new person. You die every 7 years, which is just kind of crazy to think about. Like, the 7-year-old me is gone. That person will never exist again. The 21-year-old me is gone. Yeah, that's a sad thought. We're near the 30-year-old person being gone. Oh my God, I don't want to die. Ugh. Well, I guess I don't care if I die necessarily, as long as my kids are taken care of. I don't know. Of course, it was all late, and that particular actor has always played some sort of corrupt scumbag. Also, I hear he was married to the lady from Bewitched. Was he married to the lady from... Are you talking about the main actress? Because she was beautiful. Maybe still is. Elizabeth Montgomery? Yeah, she was exceedingly beautiful. 40-year-old you is gone, Blanas. 25th, I'm 20, or 25th says that they're 23. They feel young and youthful. Yeah, wait till you're 30. That'll go. There'll always be bad people, but the living conditions should be utopian. And I think that my main gripe with the track is that a lot of the main cast looks and sounds from the 21st century. You know, the interesting thing here is I really have to agree that after the Dominion War, the Federation would slowly move into a dystopia. I honestly think that's the reasonable outcome. That for them to return to nothing but utopia isn't realistic. Like, even within that universe, I know a lot of people don't like that or don't want to hear that, but that's my honest to God opinion on it. There's a Star Trek spin-off fanfiction series by a guy named Alan Fissler called The Tales of the Folly. They give some very interesting technical explanations on how transporters and replicators work. Oh, interesting. It's called Tales of the Folly, you say. Tales of the Folly. Star Trek. Is it on YouTube or... I always think that the Jim Hadar fleet that disappeared from the wormhole were sent back in time and probably were searching for the founders. Maybe it's a loop. Could be. I know Star Trek Online sends them into the future. Its Earth is still a utopia. That would be the question. Starfleet may have fallen, but as long as Earth is not... I mean, if that's what you like, Sir Star, that's the way you want to look at it, or that's what you think would happen, that's cool. I don't think that that's the way that it would go. I'm not a huge fan of Picard, but the way Earth is portrayed seems more realistic to me, but I don't know. Will there be a Star Trek franchise 100 years from now? I don't know. I doubt it, and if it is, it won't be what it is now. Dystopia is a result of billions of displaced beings. Kind of familiar. Texas or are there a lot of displaced beings in Texas and California? So here's the thing, and if you guys haven't watched it, I suggest you watch my conversation with Generation Tech. Had him on, lovely individual. That said, I think the spirit of DS9 is completely different from like Disco Era Trek, and so I understand what you're trying to say. The Dominion Wars was pivotal to the 22nd to 26th century, as World War II was the 1700s to that. I agree. I think that, yeah. I agree. I think the Dominion War was basically the World War of that universe. And I think it changed everyone. I think it made Starfleet a powerhouse. It made them the dominant Alpha Quadrant power. And I think it changed like all of the politics. Well, Kobayashi, if you didn't like that, if you haven't watched it, I would suggest watching Lower Decks. I think they're pretty good. I like Dystopian. Yeah, I love Warhammer 40k. I'd love to do stuff on Warhammer 40k. It's just so intricate that it's hard to get into. And it would be something I don't think a lot of people would get into on this channel. Though I am trying different stuff on different channels. Trek is like sex, even when it's bad, it's still pretty good. What's going on, Mr. Sid? Hope you're doing well. Well, DS9 was a Moses story versus B5 was a Jesus story. I have never heard it described like that. I'd have to think about that. I don't think Waywin was gonna kill all the humans. I know he said that's what he thought should happen. I don't think he was going to. Am I going to continue the StarCraft stuff? You continue to ask that. Yes. A couple of things to that. StarCraft. So for those who don't know, man, March 6th, a really good friend of mine was murdered. Like straight murdered. He was coming home with another person, and a guy who a coward came up on him and just shot him point blank, and then shot himself. I am not. That guy was a real coward. He was a huge fan of Blizzard. He loved everything Blizzard. We actually went to BlizzCon. We actually went to BlizzCon quite a few times together. And when I couldn't go to BlizzCon, he got me a Stein. It was a Warcraft Stein. So in honor of him, I'm actually going to finish the StarCraft thing. I'm going to finish it more than I was doing, but I'm putting a little more effort into it. So I am going to. So that's why it's been taking a while, because I'm trying to get that up. Why you stealing? That's why you get copyright claims, man, says Baron Capper 5. Thanks for supporting the channel. Yeah, that was a hell of a time to come in. But what's going on, Baron Cab? Absolutely. For those who don't know, Baron Cab is a fun and pretty cool guy. I first came to know him due to another channel known as Bearing. And I forget what it was, but you fooled this one guy. And he thought that you were Bearing, or that you were on his side, even though your name was Bearing Cab. It's one of the most phenomenal. That was like 3 or 4 years ago. But thanks for the support, man. Yeah, unfortunately, I steal their work and they want to make money from it, and they want their money from it because they put all the effort into it. But I mean, why can't I just upload stuff and get it? I mean, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I talked about what happened to him. Corey was his name. I talked about that a little while back, but yeah, he was a huge Blizzard fan, and so I wanted, kind of do StarCraft in his honor, and so I'm doing more with it. Do I think Star Trek will have an end point? I think they'll ground it into the dust and until they can get every dime from it, and I don't know that they'll end it like that. That's just, I think all corporations do that. I don't think that's because CBS sucks. I just think anyone would do that. Disco has its problems, especially with writing. Picard was terrible, but much better than I expected. It's interesting. I think every season and series they do gets a lot better. I really do. Season 1 Discovery was just like god awful. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was the most toxic ever seen. Season 2 was better than season 1. Of course, I kind of relate that to getting hit with a baseball bat in the head versus getting hit in the arm. Getting hit in the arm is better than getting hit in the head. You're still getting hit with a baseball bat. Season 3, I think, rocked it out. I really think that there were problems. It was still Discovery, still has failings that Discovery has, but it definitely was at least Trek to me. Picard was better than Season 2 Discovery, not as good as Season 3 Discovery, in my opinion. But still, pretty decent. Pretty decent. I'm not a huge fan of it. It was better. Lower Decks, I think, is the best new Trek that has come out. I would suggest Lower Decks to anybody. Now, again, it's a comedy, so you have to accept that it's going to do what comedies do. But I really think I think that if they come out with Lower Decks, then I think people would like it a lot more. I really do. Krugogers, you and I have talked about this. I thought I would suggest, if you can slog through season 2, I would suggest doing it to watch season 3. Um, I think Disco season 3, if you can do it with an open mind, I think it can be okay. Have you seen the episode where they went camping and one of them was singing "Row, row, row your"? Oh my god, I I am not a huge fan of that scene. I think if you've seen me do the scene I did a scene analysis on that from if you're talking about the original series movie, and I really did not like that scene, and it was not a popular opinion to not like that scene. If you want to see the lead actress in a live action sci-fi, see Space Force. Space Force. Is that what I think that is? Space Force series. Oh, are they doing a season 2? I liked Space Force. I thought it was cool. Are they doing a season 2? The most recent one got a DMCA. 2 other Voyagers got a DMCA, and then like 4 random Deep Space Nine. The Dominion War arc got hit. I liked Space Force. I thought it was really interesting. Did Baron Cab just come by and then see that it got to a serious note and leave? What the hell's up with that? Baron Cab, you gotta engage with us if you're still here, buddy. Come on. Sniped, says Baron Cab. Sniped. But yeah, we'll be ending it pretty soon, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. I thought I'd do something live since that went down. Baron Cab's lurking. Wow, what itches? Are you talking about my face? What are you talking about? I think Guardians of the Galaxy TV show, like a Star Trek MCU thing, would be interesting. Um, Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan. I especially don't like the main character because he held the stupid stick and got a lot of people killed. I am not a huge fan of him. Maybe CBS's legal department just got some new interns and they're trying to impress boss. Maybe. I don't know how impressive it's going to be because my response every time they do this happens. Talk to you later, Hans Faber. Thanks for coming by. Always a pleasure to see you. I No, so here's what happens. They DMCA the videos and they take them down. What I do is I just come in and I do my response and I'm like, hey, I've talked to legal counsel. My legal counsel tells me this falls under fair use. It falls under fair use because of the A, B, C, D, and E. If you disagree, you can take me to court, but I'm going to fight you on this. And they always back off. I think it's an automated system. I really do. And what I sincerely think happens is that they update their system in some way and it just catches it. Yeah, I like doing these live action stuff, man. I really wish I could do more You know what I'd love to do? Just between you and me, guys. I'd love to do live action. Or live action. I'd love to do live videos, like live streams here. And then I'd love to go on and just play games, like on Twitch, and you guys come out and just play games, and I don't have to be talking about like Trek or be as on it, you know? I just gotta find time. Trying to use family-friendly insults to insult CBS. Yeah. Do they back off right away or wait till the DMCAs fall off on its own? Yeah, they're petty as hell, Baron Cap. What they do is they wait the full 30 days. And what sucks about it is, and I know that they look at them, because I've had instances where I didn't phrase it right, and they just came down and said, we'll take you to court. But here's what sucks about this. So they can do it one of two ways. And you may know this, but for those who don't, they can do it one of two ways. They can monetize it. They can do it one of three ways. They can monetize it. They can make it so it can't be seen at all, or they can do a straight up channel ending DMCA. Usually they just monetize it. This time they took it down so it can't be seen. But every instance they back off and they just wait the full 30 days. Now what sucks about it though is doing it this way means no one makes any money. Usually they monetize it and I just say, no, it's not. And I'll get the money eventually. But this way, it's not monetized for 30 days. It's stupid. Guardians was straight genius. You're allowed to be totally wrong occasionally. I won't judge you, says Lovich. That's true. I appreciate that. I appreciate that you can see how this probably isn't the first time I've been wrong. Dude, I left 20 minutes ago. You need to sleep, but I need you to come back this weekend and vent, says Nate. I do need to sleep. I agree. Have you tried removing the metadata from the clips you use? That should make it harder for the bots to catch. I have not. I have not even thought about that. Would that really stop it? Because I always thought they just did it on a screen scrape. What's up, R. McDud? They still took your channel down? You still don't have the channel? Is that a new channel? Is that channel 3? Or is that still the second one? LiveActionAmongUsMovie.com hashtag. For reals. For realsy reals. I should shives them so they can't even see the vids to DMCA them. How do I shives them? What does shives do? By the way, on that topic, does Bearing... I stopped watching Bearing a while back, I'll be honest with you. It wasn't personal, I just fell off. I didn't even have the channel when I first started watching Bearing. Does he still do stuff? Huh. He still does. Interesting. And he's got 500,000 subscribers. Look at him! You should block them. I don't think blocking will stop a DMCA. Man, I would if that happened. What happened to the shelves and LED lights? I've been moving things around. They're like the TV show Community. Community was canceled a long time ago, wasn't it? I watched it a little while. I didn't watch all of it. Apparently, telling fascists on YouTube to eat rat poison will get your YouTube deleted. Who knew that? That is one of the things. I could see that. Getting your YouTube channel removed. Did you see that new thing? Man, you want to talk about scary. So I always watch the YouTube creators or whatever. They came out with a new YouTube initiative thing. This thing is scary as hell. People are loving it. But, oh man, YouTube creators. By the way, I know this. YouTube Creator Responsibility Initiative. Creator Responsibility Initiative. And one of the first things they say is that even if you don't break any terms of service, we can still demonetize you and remove your channel. So you need to make sure to not say anything that is wrong think. Doesn't say it like that, but that's what the video effectively says. That is some of the scariest stuff. Use my cat. He wouldn't like that. I can try using him. See, he's gotten mad at me. He was trying to sleep. You made me wake up my cat. He was sleeping. He was enjoying his day. Oh, I'm glad you got a new Scottish Terrier pup, but I'm sorry you lost your other animals, Sid. I'm waiting my dog over there. He's like 13 years, and you know I think he's going. They would have lost against Thanos even without Star-Lord. Did what he did. No, they wouldn't have, Justice. Absolutely not. You want to get me like just off that right there, sir. They had him dead to rights. They had Thanos dead to rights. And then you got this idiot guy who is so upset, so upset that he's willing to get everyone else killed. Look, I get it. Your future baby mama died. I would be upset about that too. Look, if the person that I loved who bounced on my lap was all of a sudden just yeeted off the face of the planet, I would be very upset too. But you know what I wouldn't do? I wouldn't do an action that got literally half of the entire world destroyed. I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. Half of the entire universe destroyed. All of them gone. Every one of them. I wouldn't do that. I would have enough self-control to know that I shouldn't attack him. It was the most idiotic. I have never hated a character more than that moment. I hate that they write stupid. They give characters stupid sticks. He deserves to watch her jump off that cliff over and over and over and over and over. I'm an atheist and don't believe in hell, but I will gladly go there if that means that character also goes there and has to watch her jump her over and over and over. That would be that there would be a God. God would exist if he was punished in that way. I would have taught Thanos capitalism to show how to create wealth so half the universe wouldn't need to die in the first. I don't know if you've seen it or not. What is it? Thanos' manager. Oh my God! If Thanos had an assistant, I can't watch this here. You guys should go and watch that. Oh my God! Star-Lord got a big old stupid nerf that time. I love him in the movies, but man, he was stupid in Avengers. He was. You guys should watch that about Thanos. It is absolutely like wonderful. Cause oh man, I love the Manager series. I hate that Dorkly doesn't do that anymore. Did they get shut down completely, or do they just not do that stuff anymore? Oh, I guess they're back. Huh. I thought they were shut down for a while. Doctor Strange said there were 14,605 ways to win, and that they had to let him use all 6 stones and have the universe in order to win. Yes, Justice Hag, I get it. I get it. You see, guys, Star-Lord is so fucking stupid. He is so stupid that only one universe could win. And I assume, I almost thought that universe didn't have him as existing, but apparently in, what is it? 1,400,605 instances. So 604 instances. They all failed because Star-Lord is that stupid. Star-Lord is the most, he is, you know, I think that they may have made him the most OP villain in MCU. And I just think that's bad writing. I mean, with him existing and meaning that 1,400,604 instances that they won't win because of him, I really, you know, I think that maybe he's just a little too powerful as a you know, as an evil guy. Well, I got to run. I'm supposed to be modding a Twitch channel. Have a great night. Talk to you later, R. McDudd. Thanks for coming by. Well, look at Star-Lord's father. He didn't have the best upbringing. I'll grant you that. Actually, you know, I really don't like Star-Lord because of that action. That said, the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, that movie was really good, I thought. Talk to you later, Baron Cap. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Always a pleasure to see you, good sir. Do I hear LeVar Burton was the host of a show called a Rebop? No, I did not hear that. It kind of fixes it. All right, guys, I'm getting tired. I'm already stuttering over myself. Thanks so much for coming by. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for supporting the channel. If you haven't, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. As always, it's a pleasure talking with you folks. Before I go, random question. Would you rather join the Galactic Empire, Romulan Star Empire, or Klingon Empire? Well, would I be accepted into them? Because that would be number one. The Romulans and Klingons aren't very open to people. Unless we're talking about like DS9 Klingon. Not even DS9 Klingon. Maybe late TNG Klingons. Believe it or not, assuming that I was liked by the Imperials, the Empire is where it's at. The interesting thing is, and you know, before I became known for Star Trek, I love Star Wars. I mean, I like Star Trek too. I love Star Trek as well, but I was a huge Star Wars fan. And what's interesting is when you look at it, the Empire was really great for a lot of people. Outer Rim didn't do so well, but Inner and Mid Rim were generally very well taken care of. And as long as you were willing to jump, I mean, they were like the Dominion if the Dominion cared. So, I mean, Star Wars can be where it's at as long as you follow the company politic. They need more Comstar. I love Mech Warrior. I'm your lovable internet hobo. He can't brush his hair or shave. This is shaved, good sir. This is shaved, okay? Look at this. Look. Now I got a shadow coming up, but it's shaved. I am not a neck beard. I shaved it down here and shaved it down here and right here and right here. Haven't cut the hair. That's fair. But I have shaved, all right? Good sir. All right. I said good day, Nova Snowpaul. I said good day. Only reason I have a Clanner Tech is because PGI gave it to me. I used to play the MechWarrior online game, and it didn't. Now it seems like they really went way off the rails. Like, used to, you could fight in these big areas, and then when I tried to fight, like, maybe probably it was a while, 6 months ago, it was like 1v1 in this very small room or something. I don't. And it was supposed to be like a team of 4, but they just didn't have enough people. I don't know. Used to be really good. Not as much now, I don't think. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next War Reloaded.